In this session, we'll be talking about AI, about Rufus, something Amazon has on their website, and we will bring Ritu Java, who will tell us how AI shopping assistants by Amazon can, how they work and how Amazon sellers can make their products visible to this algorithm. And I will invite our guests just without waiting any more further. So hello, Ritu.
Hello, how are you doing, Augustus?
I am good, thank you very much. And this topic is quite new and exciting, and I see we have quite a lot of people watching already. And yeah, maybe just introduce shortly. We will not waste much of the time. And guys, if you're listening us live, please comment where you're tuning from, where are you watching from. And Ritu, just a very short introduction, and then we will go on.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, everyone. I'm super excited about this topic. This is Rufus Roadmap, and we've done a lot of research on Rufus and have been actively helping our clients get visibility in Rufus. And so today I'm really excited to talk about the Rufus Roadmap and how to future-proof your brand for the era of conversational e-commerce.
All right, that's amazing. And yeah, while you are preparing your slides, I wanted to say to everyone that if you're watching live, don't forget to write your comments for Ritu on this topic. If you have some questions during the slideshow, so make sure to type your questions in the chat box. And if you're watching the replay, ask your comments and questions in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoy what we do, don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's see. Someone is tuning in from Denver. Someone is from sunny California. Nice. I don't see any Europeans. Usually we have Europeans as well. All right. So we see you. I will bring your screen to the stage. And I think we are ready to talk about Rufus and how to be more discoverable on this platform.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, as I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about the Rufus roadmap and how to future-proof your brand for the era of conversational e-commerce. And before I get started, a little bit of intro to my, just some fun facts. So I'm the CEO of PPC Ninja. We are an advertising agency, right? I am an early adopter and power user of AI, so I kind of cannot live without AI. Like I don't know when something goes down, like ChatGPT down or Claude is down or slow, it really affects me. So that's basically who I am. I have 15 plus years in the e-commerce industry. I also run the AI for e-commerce newsletter. And I'm on a mission to replace myself with more and more automation, more and more AI. So today we're talking about conversational e-commerce, and I just want to say that there's a huge shift that's happened in the product discovery in the recent years. So last 2 years or maybe 3, people have started shifting their search behaviors, where it used to be go and search on Google. It has now become just talk with ChatGPT, or just talk with Perplexity, or basically just have a conversation with Rufus to find the stuff that we're looking for. And this has affected everyone, like all of us. Notice and observe your own habits. They have transformed, they have changed. We no longer put stuffy keywords into the search bar and try to figure out what the best product is. We actually are more free with the way we express ourselves. So conversational e-commerce just means that you're having a conversation with a chatbot, with an AI, and you want to be able to express complex thoughts, not simple ones. You're not going to say, I want magnesium supplement, blah, blah, blah. You might say that, what's the best supplement for menopause, or something like that. So your conversations are going to be much more rich And therefore, we need to be prepared for those sorts of conversations, because Amazon is doing a lot to answer those questions with very advanced technology, which you can now see with Alexa Plus, for example, or Rufus. So, what is Alexa Plus? It is a new enhancement from Amazon's side, where people can actually talk to Alexa and say things like, "Hey Alexa, it's Carla's 30th birthday this weekend. What's a good idea for a birthday present?" So that includes many attributes, a lot of information, a lot of personalization, a lot of customization, because these systems actually know us a lot. They know everything about us, what our shopping behaviors are, what our shopping history has been, what our price preferences are, and so on. So we can actually say things like give me suggestions for gifts that are less than $100, less than $50, and things like that. And both Alexa and Rufus, they are run on the same technology in the back end. They're both able to kind of give us those answers pretty easily. Now it's getting better and better. Like in the beginning, people would be complaining about how the responses from Rufus weren't accurate, or they were just clunky. But it's just the beginning of yeah, the growth that we're all observing, and it's going to get better and better from here. So when it comes to Rufus, Amazon has been putting a lot of emphasis on Rufus. They have been making it slowly more and more visible. So in the beginning, it used to be just a little chatbot on the left side, but now it's occupying more and more space. Like literally, the left side pane of your Amazon search results page is now Rufus, right? That whole section on the left side is Rufus. Additionally, Rufus is showing up in so many other places, like it's kind of distributed. You see little blue boxes everywhere, like under the images or in the review section, even even when you're about to check out and so on, there'll be little prompts that are showing up here and there. So what's the purpose of those prompts? It's Amazon encouraging the shopper to kind of go deep and explore the discovery and explore the product even more. And that kind of helps them find exactly the right product that will serve their needs, right? So that's why Amazon has been saying things like, get your thing with Rufus, like go and find the thing that you want, and you don't have to waste your time with just browsing through endless products. You can actually find the right thing for your needs. So this is something new that's started showing up on the left pane when you haven't made any search query at all. Like you haven't even started your search. This Rufus welcome section comes on the left side, which says welcome back, and it has two things for you. So the first one is, or for the shopper, first one is, it says for you, review my shopping preferences. What should I treat myself to? What deals would I like? And then new things to try. What does my order say about me, price history of the last item I searched? So there's a lot of like prompts that can get you started. So this is basically the beginning of the buyer journey, where they don't even know what they want, but Amazon is giving them options to kind of go and explore, right? A lot of people start their search that way. Another thing that Amazon is now doing is it's allowing shoppers to customize their Rufus experience. So if you just give a few details about yourself, like for example, I live in Florida, I have two dogs, one is a corgi, one is a lab, and I have two children, or whatever. You can basically give a little bit of information about yourself to Amazon. You can also give some interest, like my hobbies are remote control, or car racing, or whatever your hobbies are. If you enter a little bit of information about yourself, well then Amazon's Rufus is customized, and it gives you recommendations that are catered to your specific needs, right? So it's like a really powerful experience, and Amazon is making that possible. So this was something that I discovered recently, and I actually went ahead and added a bunch of interest just to see what happens, when Amazon has a little bit more context about my background. Does it actually give me recommendations that are relevant to me, right? So when I say to me, it just means that it completely changes the way ranking happens at all. Because if Amazon's search results are going to be catered to the individual, then our traditional concept of ranking basically goes out the window, because what is ranked for me will be different for someone else, right? And each person's preferences will actually take priority over the traditional keyword ranking style. Now, I actually love Rufus, and I actually find any kind of search with Rufus to be a lot better than just a keyword search. To give you an example, the other day I was looking for salty protein snacks with no added sugar, right? So, yeah, I'm trying to live a healthy life, and I really want protein, right? Because I want to make sure my muscles are strong and so on. So I'm looking for salty snacks, right? So I put in this keyword, salty protein snacks with no added sugar. On the left side, you see three results that were basically the A9 results, or basically what Amazon shows in their search results. None of them were actually not like, all of them had some amounts of sugar. Like, for example, this one, kind zero, it says zero, but it has sugar. This one has sugar, this one has sugar. But when I asked Rufus the exact same question, I actually got salty snacks, right? I got this beef jerky, I got this snack, and then I got edamame, right? So these are actually the thing that I want, because look at my query. It is complex. It's not simple. It's got many attributes, many elements. There's a salty element, there's a protein snack element, there's a with no added sugar. Now, any of our traditional keyword searches will totally get confused with this long tail, because it has a lot of broad matches, a lot of exact matches, and it's all mixed up. So it's a very complex query, and only Rufus can answer this complex question, which is why I feel that people will sooner or later realize that Rufus results are much better than the traditional A9 results, and they will start switching. And Amazon is making that happen slowly. So let me show you another example of how the search results page can be gamified. It can be manipulated, but Rufus cannot be manipulated easily, right? So let me show you. So this is a regular search that I did here: foundation for oily skin. So do this, the number one organic search result that comes up is this product. It's the Clinique Even Better Makeup Liquid Foundation. So this was the overall pick. It was the number one ranked on A9 results, right? Now I asked the same exact question, foundation for oily skin, to Rufus, and it gives me a totally different result. It gives me Revlon Color Stay Long Wear Makeup, and this one says something about, here are some excellent foundations specifically formulated for oily skin that provide great oil control and long-lasting coverage. So there's something about this that Rufus wants to recommend, because it's really a great overall product, right? So it has not only it's not only a foundation for oily skin, but attributes that the other product didn't have, and so it kind of promoted it on top of its list of recommendations, and it said it with it, right? So this is how it can easily happen that your products, even though their conversion rate right now is really, really good, it can start losing visibility. So you have to understand there's two different KPIs we're talking about here. One is CVR, your conversion rate, which is basically how well your page converts after someone has landed on your page, right? It might convert really, really well, but if it doesn't show up, if it starts to show up less, or if Rufus starts to prioritize other products over yours, then what's the point of that conversion rate? Because your sessions will go down drastically, your impressions basically will tank, right? And if that starts to happen, it starts this negative cycle, which is very hard to recover from, right? Which is why if you basically want to show up ahead of your competition, you basically have to take a different mindset and a totally different approach for getting visibility on Amazon. So let me show you this concept of the dual flywheel, which I put together a few months ago. And the reason why I said this was a dual flywheel is because the traditional starts with the left side, which is a keyword search. So you have keyword search. It goes into the A9 algorithm, right? So the A9 is this complex, matching algorithm that takes a search term and it matches it to products based on a different attributes, like for example the conversion rate, the click-through rate, the historical performance of that. And once a product is presented, you have product discovery, and once that product is actually sold, then it goes and reinforces the keyword ranking algorithm, which basically establishes that keyword as being associated with that product, and there your loop here kind of gets reinforced over and over again when more and more searches lead to that product and more of that product go and reinforce this side of the loop. So that's the loop that we've been used to. That's the loop we've known all this while. But now let's look at the right side. Here you have the entry point as conversational search. It's not just one keyword. It's a complex set of many complex ideas, attributes, and so on. So you start with a conversation and it goes into the Rufus algorithm, right? The Rufus AI basically picks up that complex search and then presents some it thinks is the best answer for that complex query. It cannot be the same answer each time because the query could be complex, as well as the person who's searching it, their background, their history, their demographic, all of that comes into play, and the product discovery happens based on that complex set of many attributes. So once that happens, what happens is that product discovery leads to a sale. What does that reinforce in that case? It goes and improves and strengthens the semantic relevance of the complex uh, you know uh, queries that are stated in the original search, and this is how this side of the cycle gets reinforced. So at this point, what are we having to do as advertisers, as sellers? We're actually having to deal with these two mechanisms happening in parallel because Amazon has actually provided both of these mechanisms for people to discover products. So we cannot ignore one or the other. We kind of have to give them equal importance, if not more importance to Rufus, because that's kind of the future that we're all headed towards. Now, if you understand the dual flywheel, then you will know that you cannot ignore either one. It's not about letting go of your traditional keyword search methodology. That still stays. As long as you have both those entry points, both of these mechanisms need to happen in parallel, right? So given this, I hope that the audience, all of you guys in the audience, are actually preparing for Rufus. And if you're not, we will talk about a bunch of ideas today. But before that, let me get through some of the frequently asked questions about Rufus, about confusion around Rufus, or just frustration around what it is and why do I need to start spending so much more time. I was fine. I keyword strategy nailed. Now I have to learn this new thing. Well, yes, it's kind of important to get past these questions because we have to agree that this is the future and we all have to prepare for it. Okay, so some of the frequently asked questions are: so how many people are actually using Rufus, right? How big is this thing? Is it really worth my time right now, or is it okay to kind of wait and watch and see, when it becomes urgent, I'll do it then, kind of thing, right? So let me show you one or two statistics that Amazon themselves released. So Amazon claims 250 million shoppers have used Rufus in 2025, with monthly active users up 149% year over year and interactions up 210%, right? So this just means that more and more people are discovering Rufus and have started using it. Also, Amazon says that customers using Rufus during a shopping journey are 60% more likely to complete a purchase, which is great because what happens is that because Rufus appears to be assisting rather than just being kind of this uh, just plain kind of search results page, it kind of makes the shopping journey a lot more engaging, and therefore people are more likely to complete their purchase. Okay, back to the FAQs. So second one, what happens to keyword ranking? Like, is that keyword ranking concept going to stay? Is it going to go? Like, what's going to happen, right? So at the moment, your keyword ranking remains as it is because in your search results page, keyword ranking is still important, and you still need to, kind of look at your SQP data. You still need to prioritize keywords. You still need to have campaigns that are designed for ranking, so on. But just remember that Rufus is also like right now just 1/3 of the screen, but it's going to take more and more space in the future. Should I prioritize listings for keywords or Rufus? So my answer would be both because you cannot ignore Rufus at this point, right? Maybe a year ago, when people were talking about Rufus or beginning to talk about Rufus, there was still time. But right now, there is no time, right? It's almost like a high priority for people to actually get into that mode and look at Rufus as a very important part of their, listing strategy. Question number 4, will Rufus replace the search bar? So I actually asked Amazon this question, and they told me that this year, 2026, they will not replace the search bar, which means that both of these mechanisms will coexist. And so there's no big plans to kind of replace the search bar because people are still kind of getting used to this new way of product discovery. Question number 5, won't Amazon lose their ad revenue if Rufus becomes mainstream? No, not at all, because Amazon will always find a way to monetize. Like even within Rufus, they've already started showing ads. And up until March 25th, these ads were free. So you could see sponsored showing up inside of Rufus. But after March 25th of this year, we know that they've started charging for those questions. And I'll just show it to you in just a second. These are called prompts. You can also find exactly where these prompts live in your advertising console. And then I'll show you how to turn them on or off so that you don't waste money if the questions for which you're showing up are wrong, okay? So just give me a second. I'll come to that in a second. How can I advertise within Rufus? So at this point, you don't really have a choice in the kind of questions that Rufus is showing your sponsored ads in. So the only choice you have is to turn those off, right? You can either have them on or off. There's just a toggle, and you can choose to be within those questions or not, but you can't bid on it. Eventually, we are expecting that people will be able to bid on any ads that show up within Rufus, okay? Okay, so actually at this point, let me show you what it looks like with the ads, okay? So, these are called prompts, right? When you open your, when you go to your Amazon ads reports and you go to your sponsored products, go into report type prompts, and you will be able to download a CSV that looks like this. And here you can see prompts that are showing your products in. So these are Rufus prompts. These are questions that people are asking, or they're just curated questions that Rufus has just put general questions like, why is this product the best for XYZ, or what's the best product for X, Y, or Z? And your products might be showing up in that list. And you can see the spend. This screenshot was taken before March 25th. The spend previously was 0, but now we've confirmed that Amazon is actually charging for your ads showing up in Rufus, whether you like it or not. So you might as well go here and download your prompts and check them out and make sure that you're actually relevant to those questions or not. The other place you can actually go is inside ad groups. If you go inside your ad groups, you will actually see a toggle here for all the prompts. Here, there's a prompts beta tab here. You will see the prompt details, the question shows up, the actual product shows up, and then there's a toggle so you can turn it off if those questions are irrelevant for you. Okay, so back to the FAQ. Question number 7. Is there a way to influence questions such as what is the best product for X, Y, or Z? So here is where I want to tell you the difference between the traditional way, which was quite a bit of manipulation and gamification of the way ranking used to happen. Like you could actually put a lot of money behind certain keywords. You could maybe have like a top of search multiplier, etc., and you could basically put that keyword everywhere, and then suddenly in a few days that keyword would start to rank, right? Even if you did something like a giveaway and you started to rank, those techniques are mostly like manipulation, and so there was a way to influence it heavily in the past. Now let me tell you that Rufus is more of a meritocracy. So Rufus is fair, and it actually knows everything about your product from top to bottom. So your title, your bullet points, your images, everything on your listing, plus all the questions that people are asking about your products, reviews that people leave, ratings, everything, including off Amazon, everything about your product is being tracked by Amazon. So it's very hard to game Rufus. It is very hard to influence Rufus. But if you start now and actually put in the effort to explain your product better, answer the questions that people have doubts about, then slowly you will start building yourself up for that eventual kind of influence of the question like this, like what's the best product for this. Like you can't really say add that keyword best product for XYZ and then it'll start becoming visible. It's not like that. It's more holistic, it's more complex, and so you have to start now in order to get that sort of benefit. Question number 8, how much weight does Rufus place on one-off negative reviews? So, sometimes it happens like you have thousands of reviews, but you have one negative. Like what happens with Rufus? So at the moment, what we've noticed is that Rufus does bring up those questions, especially if they're like really negative questions, but it's also fair. It's also being fair in basically accommodating any response that the manufacturer or basically you guys, the sellers have responded. That the response is actually taken into consideration, and Rufus is actually being very fair, and it says there was a negative there was a negative review about X, Y, or Z, but the manufacturer has confirmed that this is the reason why it was so. It could have been whatever reason, right? So you can actually influence that, and it won't weigh against you just because it's one negative review. But if you let it go unattended, like if you don't do anything about it, like you don't put any response to that either in that review or through like an explanation somewhere on your listing, then yes, that will keep showing up. It'll kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Question number 9, if Rufus only recommends products with 4+ stars and thousands of reviews, how do new sellers ever break through? So there's got to be some things that new sellers and new products are good at, right? And there's always something, some angle. There's something that you can be differentiated on. You have to find that. Now that's not anything new. It was always the case that you have to be differentiated in some way or another in order to stand out, right? And do remember that A9 isn't going away yet. It's still going to be, the traditional way is still there, but the future way, you will need to kind of work on gaining more reviews over time, and eventually you will start showing up in Rufus. Yeah. Question number 10, how do I know that my Rufus optimization is working? So this is for slightly advanced people who've already taken the steps and have optimized their listings. And the question is, okay, how do I make sure that, I'm actually now getting the benefits of my investment, my time investment, and so on. So this question is actually very tricky because what can you ask Rufus that it'll so to compare it with the keyword era where you could just very easily see what your keyword ranking was. You could use one of the tools out there like Helium 10 or Data Dive or any other Jungle Scout, and you could see that, hey, I did something, I worked on this keyword, and now I'm ranking number 6 or 7. So it was very quantitative. It was so easy to kind of confirm that you're in the top 10 or top 5, whatever. Now, what's happening is that with Rufus, because the questions are not just keywords, they're complex, long queries, they could be 2 or 3 sentences long even. How do you even get to all the different possibilities of questions, and how can you even start to measure whether things have improved or not? So it becomes complex. It's like an infinite number of questions, infinite number of keywords that are going to be optimized for. And so how do you know that your optimization actually worked? So what we recommend is that right now, you obviously you're going to be extracting your Rufus questions. That's the first step, right? You want to extract those questions and baseline them. And once you've baselined them, measure them 3 months down the line after you've optimized, measure them 6 months down the line, and see what Rufus is saying about your listing. Has anything changed or not? Now, the change, again, like I said, it is slow because Rufus will respond through actual buyer reviews, right? It will actually look at your reviews, and if the reviews have transformed and people are actually saying good things about it now, then Rufus picks that up and it knows that, okay, these are recent reviews, and therefore there is more weight given to something that is more recent, and so on. Plus, Amazon is evolving the whole Rufus experience, and so it's a little complex at this point. So I don't think there's an easy answer to the 10, but I think it's worth baselining the questions now so that you can see how you stand 3 months from now or 6 months from now, and so on. Okay, I'm going to skip a few slides because we've already gone through them. And let's get to the fun part, which is how to get visibility in Rufus. What are some of the best practices? So I'm going to give you some of the best practices so that now you can start to future-proof your listings. And it won't be easy. It won't be done in a day, but you've got to get started, right? So the first tip I want to give you is immediately address negative comments, right? So here's an example of a product. This is like a crystal pendant, right? And one of the questions that is showing up in Rufus is, how durable is the crystal setting, right? So for something as delicate as the crystal pendant, the setting matters. And Rufus's answer was, while the product description doesn't mention anything about durability, customers generally don't think it is durable. Now, that's an ouch, right? Because if customers generally don't think it's durable, then obviously it's going to deter more people from buying it, right? So many mention that the stone falls out easily and the chain tarnishes quickly. Now, a negative review like that is quite devastating, right? So what happens? Like, is there no hope for this product because such a horrible negative review is showing up prominent on Rufus? Well, just to say, it's not. It's not the end of the world because there is a way to save even this kind of negative comment. So the way we recommend is to proactively place the burden of using that product correctly on the buyer, right? So what we've recommended is put up an image like this, which says, treat it like a treasure, caring for your crystal pendant. You have to remove it before showering or swimming, avoid direct contact with lotions, avoid direct contact with perfumes, store in a dry, soft place away from other items, clean gently with soft cloth. So with the little care, it'll sparkle for years. So when we put up something like this, it's basically giving Rufus and the shopper the signals that, hey, this is not something that you treat roughly. You can't just like be rough with it and assume that it's going to be it'll stay. It's not iron, it's not made of iron and steel, right? It's a very delicate thing, so treat it like a treasure, right? So look how we have transformed the narrative. We're no longer being pressurized by this negative comment. Instead, we're giving people advice on how to treat this beautiful piece of product that they've purchased from us. So that goes a long way in addressing those negative sentiments and transforming kind of buyer sentiment about your product, and it doesn't go against you that way. Tip number two is turning concerns into callouts. So Rufus will surface a lot of concerns. They're not necessarily negative comments, but it might say something like, oh, I don't know, or I'm not sure, the listing doesn't say, blah, 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 right? So there's no negatives there, but it's still unclear whether the product will solve the buyer's problem or not. So just to give you an example, this is a before after that we did, where this basically the product is the dress. It's a Halloween costume with the kind of the headband. So the headgear. So the questions that were coming up on this listing is to do with the flare. Does the skirt have a good flare? Does it, or is it kind of going to be stuck to me? So the way we've addressed this is without even just shown it, right? So show not tell kind of thing. So we've shown how this woman is swinging around, and she's there's clearly a good flare there. Plus it answers very specific questions that people were asking. What's included, like does the patch come with it, or the headband, does it stay in place, and so on. So we've little call outs like this go a long way, because not only does the shopper notice it, Rufus notices it too, right? All of these things get noticed. Now you can figure out the best kind of most aesthetic way of putting all these call outs together, but the fact that your listings can't be what they used to be. Lastly, the listings were pretty, like all of the listings were kind of bare and pretty, but now I think it's time for a little more aesthetic along with call outs and details that are important for people to make decisions, as well as for Rufus to pick up so that it can answer questions. Please note that all the images can be understood and interpreted by Rufus. In fact, Rufus does look at the collection of images together, and they know exactly how to express, or answer buyer questions your product, because it sees everything, including the background in this lifestyle photo. Everything is picked up by the LLM. So tip number 3 is, wherever possible, try to add like a before after image. Like if there's something that's transforming your client, or sorry, your shopper from one state to another, you want to mention that or show that, right? What is going to happen after they use your product. So try to show the before and after if you can, because it really goes a long way in helping Rufus answer questions about your product. Tip number 4 is adding comparison. So, oftentimes people ask, is this product better than that other product, or how is this best, or whatever. Now, the best way to get into that sort of question is to, proactively introduce that comparison, showing an us versus them. And in the us versus them section, if you want, you can actually also put details like call outs and things like that clearly show why we are better than others, right? That comparison is picked up by Rufus, and that'll help with kind of showing your product over somebody else's product, or your products actually might start showing up in the Rufus responses on another product's page, because it is answering certain specific comparative questions as well. Now, a lot of the questions that you gather from Rufus, you might wonder, okay, I've taken care of most of these on my title, bullet points, in my images, and so on. But there's still more questions. What do I do? Well, an easy, super easy way of storing those questions is to just create an FAQ image. And here you can actually put as many questions and answers as you like. You can even have 2 or 3 FAQ images towards the end of your carousel. Like, obviously, these aren't going to be pretty, they're pretty text heavy, but just by putting it in this format, you're just giving Rufus enough material because it already has those questions. Now you're giving it the answers also, so that's kind of easy, right? So if you can answer Rufus or prepare Rufus in the same format that it is looking for, well, then your problem is solved, and you can actually be verbose here, and it's fine, because this image is not meant to be pretty. It's meant to just answer questions. Also, remember that in the content there is the FAQ module. Maximize that, because Rufus loves those sorts of structured Q&A style question and answers, because they can be used for answering buyer questions. Number 6, always include the target avatar in your listing. It's surprising how many listings, forget to do that. Like, they just don't show they just don't show humans for some reason. Like, this listing had 0 humans. It's a pretty big brand, but this listing did not have a single human. And so we suggested this kind of layout with the right target audience, because this is meant for, children as well. So we introduced a child here just to show that, hey, this omega-3 supplement doesn't have that fishy aftertaste, and even children love it, kind of thing. Tip number 7 is always max out the available image slots. So I've seen up to 9 images, of course, for standard listing, but I've also seen up to 12 images in certain categories. So if you guys have access to your category, your catalog manager or your SaaS manager or so on, you can always ask them if there's any opportunity to get more slots. Because if you've seen more slots on your competitors' pages, you can always ask about it and just fill it up, right? Don't let go of any real estate, because all of it is valuable for training Rufus. And so keep an eye out for that sort of stuff. So finally, a bunch of more kind of best practices. Just wanted to share these with you. So answer unasked questions in your title and description. Rufus doesn't just match keywords, it interprets intent. If someone asks best foundation for oily skin, your copy should directly address oily skin, plus long lasting, plus won't clog pores, without forcing keywords, right? So best means a lot of things, right? So you have to understand what the buyer, when they say best, what are they looking for? What are the different aspects of your product that they would consider checked off in order to call it best? So then you go and address those attributes, right? You have to address all of them in order for Rufus to say yes, the best, because it checks off all the boxes. Number 2 is use natural language objection handling. Include statements like won't leave residue, suitable for sensitive skin, dermatologist tested, etc. in your description. So these sorts of natural language objections can be presented in your bullet points, and Rufus will pick up all of these conversational pain points. Structure for semantic understanding, not just keyword matching. So you want to put key attributes early and use consistent terminology across title, bullet points, and description. Stop padding with keyword stuffing, because it confuses AI even more than it helps it, right? So you don't want to do the same thing of repeating, or saying the same thing in just to get the keyword rank juice, etc. You want to be more conversational now, okay? Show the problem solution relationship. Don't just state the features, you want to connect them. You want to say something like lightweight formula heavy foundations. So that's basically balancing it out. You're saying buildable coverage solves the too much makeup look, delivering a natural finish. So every problem and its solution combined together. So you're now getting to do real marketing. In the past, it was hard to use natural sounding words because we were so hung up on keywords. But now is your chance to actually do that. Leverage your reviews strategically. Rufus reads review text, not just star ratings. Reviews mention specific use cases like great for my oily T-zone or works under my makeup all day. So when you see these sorts of reviews, you want to pick those up and use those words, the exact same words that your customers, your shoppers are using, and reflect it back to them in your listing. You can even say things like customers say blah blah blah, like customers have reported blah blah blah, and those are perfectly fine, and they can help to help Rufus to project your product in the right line. Avoid any vague marketing language like premium formula. That becomes a little hard for anyone to understand, like what is premium formula. It doesn't help Rufus. Instead, you can say things like oil control polymers or matte finish. Be specific about what makes your product different, right? So those are some of the tips. Now let's talk about what should your Rufus roadmap look like. Like how do you start? Like let's say for those of you in the audience who are unsure of where to begin, you started and stopped, or you did something in piecemeal, what do you do now, right? So your Rufus roadmap is basically you start with a Rufus audit, right? You have to do an audit very, very detailed that actually tells you holistically what all the problems are, what all the positives are, and from there on, you want to analyze the data that you collect. Right? It's a data collection exercise. It's not to be treated lightly. Like you want to actually go in depth, extract everything, analyze that information, and then you want to start responding to Rufus objections one by one. Like all of the things that are brought up by Rufus, you need to prioritize those and start to answer those questions and make sure that they are sufficiently addressed aspects of your listing. And then you layer in the SEO. So you can't forget SEO. Of course, the GEO, the generative engine optimization happens through this step. But then you also want to layer in the SEO, making sure wherever you can add or insert SEO. One of the good places for SEO nowadays would be product description field, which tends to be hidden because it's replaced by A plus content, right? So the product description field is probably your best bet for putting in all the leftover keywords that you couldn't fit because you had to be a little bit more verbose and a little bit more conversational and natural language sounding. So that's the place where you can actually go and add keywords because mostly that doesn't get read or surfaced. But Rufus and A9 will both pick that section up. And then once you've actually done all that optimization, then every couple of months you want to ask, is Rufus favoring you? Is it making you visible or not, right? So there's two paths. There's the yes and the no. If Rufus is favoring or Rufus is not favoring you yet, you still need to rinse and repeat. You have to repeat this process every once in a while. So you can't just set it and forget it because it's evolving, right? That all of the all the conversations that are getting absorbed at this point are going to shape what Rufus presents next, or the prompts that Rufus is going to show shoppers next. All of that is going to dynamically be evolving, and so you can't be resting and having a good time because this is an ongoing step that will go on and on and on, right? So it's a rinse and repeat till till you're satisfied, and even beyond that, right? So that's your roadmap essentially. So a summary is that there are no shortcuts. There is, like I said, Rufus is more of a meritocracy. It is going to be fair. It stands everything, and gamifying is not possible. And the keyword stuffing is not going to help you. So there are no shortcuts. Okay, so let me now show you some actual examples of images that we've transformed by layering on Rufus objections and answering them. Okay, so this product basically is for cats, right? This was the original image. It says accents of garden green and a taste of cat's love, right? So that's as you can see, what does it mean? I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't really say much, right? So we noticed that a lot of shoppers were asking, is this for kittens or for senior cats also, right? Obviously, I don't have a cat, and I don't know the difference, but apparently this was an important question, like who is this product for? What age range is this food best for? Obviously, cats have ages too, right? So you want to make sure that it is actually serving the right age group. Is this complete nutrition or just basic maintenance? So that's again very important. It doesn't matter whether cats love it or not, but is it going to give them nutrition or not? Or does the pet owner need to do more in order to kind of supplement the nutritional needs of their cat? So here's how we transformed it. And you can see here it says total vitality for adult cats. So it's clearly saying what the ages are. So right here it says 1 to 7 years. This is kitten, this is senior, but we're targeting 1 to 7 years, and we've said recommended. So these are signals that clearly tell people and Rufus, that this is meant for this age group. And here it also says complete nutrition for healthy weight and energy. So it's given you the answer to this question: is it complete or is it, basic, right? So what is it for? So all three questions were answered by this image transformation. Next question was, or next image was, antioxidants help support a healthy immune system. This was the image. And some of the Rufus questions were, does this actually help with hairballs? How does hairball control work? Is this suitable for indoor cats with digestion issues, right? So this is how we transformed it. Basically, we obviously this got the cat, and it's got the hairball issue, and it says helps control hairballs, smooth digestion, happy cat, clean home. And then there's some other call outs like it's natural, fiber plant, it's gentle on digestion, indoor ready. So all of these questions somehow magically got answered by simply doing a little bit of work on your image, and there you go. So that's how you transform a Rufus question into an actual image call out. Third example here is high quality protein for strong muscles. So this was the original image. Some of the Rufus questions were, how do I switch foods without upsetting my cat's stomach? Should I mix this with old food or wet food? Why did my cat have digestive issues after switching? So apparently, when you introduce a new type of food like this for your pets, there's some sort of transition period that's required. You can't just suddenly switch because the pet might take some while to get adjusted to it. So the way we showcase this is like this. Basically said, 25% new. So day 1 to 2 do this, days 3 to 4 do this, days 5 to 6 do this, day 7+ do this. So 25% new, 50% new, 70%, 75% new, and 100% cat chow. Okay, so that visually shows how the cat can now get used to this new cycle and skip the stomach upset, mix with old food over 7 to 10 days for the perfect transition. So this answers a very specific Rufus concern, and it does it visually beautifully, right? So it's all compressed, and Rufus understands it, people understand it, problem solved, right? One more example. So this is a PM technology fan. So it's a fan that goes into some of these gaming products and so on, gaming computers and so on. Will this PSU work in my country? Okay. Does it support 110 volts or 220 volts? These are actual questions people ask over and over again, and somehow manufacturers or advertisers just don't know how to address them. Very basic questions, but they don't get addressed on listings. What is digital APFC? Is this safe against voltage fluctuation? Is it suitable for unstable power grids? So the way we answered this was completely transform the image, a bunch of call outs, global voltage stability ready. So it basically says doesn't matter which country you are in, it is stable for any kind of country. Digital APFC manages input ranges for consistent power delivery. So it's answered that question. It even says 110 to 240 volt range, uh, and so on. So all of this basically gets addressed with simple call outs and beautiful imagery, and Rufus happy, people happy, problem solved, right? So this is the kind of effort that's required from all of you to basically win in Rufus's visibility, right? It's going to be hard, right? And it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work, but you have to kind of do it. You've got to get started somewhere. Okay, hopefully these examples were helpful. I mean, obviously I didn't cover everything under the sun here, but you get the idea, and now you can, start to get some ideas of your own. So at PPC Ninja, we've actually optimized 978 images and counting, basically optimized for Rufus, and our images are generated with AI. Right, so we've basically made it like a factory scale, where we're not doing 1 1 1 1, which takes a long time. We actually do it at scale, right? So we've generated so many images, and so I just wanted to say that this is possible, because we are focusing heavily on scale. Like, how do you achieve scale? Like, we don't do one-offs. We actually do these things at scale and very fast. And so how do we achieve scale? Basically, our secret sauce is rapid tool development. So we've built a bunch of AI tools, and we've strung them together, and things go fast. Like recently, we had a client, potential client, who gave he was basically sourcing different agencies who do their listings and listing optimizations. And so they came to us and they said, okay, how much would you charge? And so we told our price and stuff like that. And then they said, oh, but this other agency is charging less. And so we said, okay, fine, we'll match their price. However, we really want you to judge the quality. We really want you to see which one did a better job with Rufus integration and Rufus integrated images, right? So we said fine, and he said, okay, I'll give one ASIN to them, I'll give one ASIN to you. So we did ours, and we completed the whole thing. The whole listing was optimized in 3 days and given back to them. The other agency this is now 4 weeks and counting, and the other agency still hasn't delivered their listing yet. So difference between when we do things at scale, and with the help of AI, we've got all the tools in place. It goes fast, and turnaround time is fast. This for a few corrections, technical corrections, and we finished those as well. The product listing is live, and they already reported this morning that the conversion rate is going up. So conversion rate is going up. It was done so quickly. All the bottlenecks that come in the way of doing this sort of work get resolved when you prioritize with the help of AI. So we use Claude heavily. We use Gemini. AI Studio is one of our best friends. Like, we do a lot of prototyping in that, and we use Vertex AI and a lot of other tools in order to get the scale that is required for this sort of AI era. Just to give you an example, we have developed a tool that basically does Rufus prompts extraction in bulk. So what is this? Basically, it'll have a conversation with Rufus and try to extract as many answers as possible. And basically, it will, after the mining, it will basically save everything in a spreadsheet, which we can download. We can then pass that into another phase, which goes and analyzes and categorizes all of the questions into different buckets and then prioritizes them based on which will make the most sense to solve today. We also do a gap analysis against the current listing to see, okay, if this is the highest priority that surfacing, then to what degree has this already been addressed by the current listing, and which aspects of the listing might benefit from an enhancement if something were to change, like would it be the title, the bullet point, or the images, or all of them. So all of that gap analysis again happens with the help of our tools. And we like to call it like a listing factory, right? Because previously it was just a one-off, right? We would take a long time, do one listing from top to bottom. It would take a long time. Whereas now it's faster because of all of our tools that we've developed. Things go fast. We can, go through the pipeline very quickly, and the pipeline workflow, etc., is basically where you can be you can remove any human errors and kind of use AI's superior understanding of things. Like imagine a Rufus objection, and if someone were to say, okay, go find where this Rufus objection is being addressed, to what degree on this entire listing, that's a hard job, right? And if you're talking about 80 or 90, 100 questions and check each question against everything that's on the listing, wow, now that's a lot of work, right? So it, in order to solve that problem, we actually started doing audits for clients, like just Rufus audits. So even if you don't give people the task of actually doing the actual listing, we can actually give you audits so thorough that you can actually take that and give it to your design team and say, hey, go implement this, because everything is print, everything has been written out. So today I want to wrap up now by basically saying that we have a special offer for Orange Click followers, and the offer is basically an audit. This is like a Rufus audit, an audit like you've never seen before. Uh, sorry, sorry. It's an audit like you've never seen before. Like it has a lot of detail, which I'm just going to tell you about. Your first Rufus audit is on us. So typically we will charge anywhere from $300 and above if it's just one listing. Of course, if you're talking about bulk, that price comes down quite a bit. But this Rufus audit is 35 plus pages long, and it basically analyzes everything about your listing. And if you have, let's say, 10 ASINs or more, then the first Rufus audit is free. And I'll give you some details on how you can access that. What does our Rufus audit cover? Here are the details. Buyer voice analysis. So it will be every question, complaint, and praise from the real buyer data, organized by severity with verbatim quotes. Like you'll actually see what did the buyer say and so on. So that's the first part. Then your top 10 buyer questions. What are people asking about your product, right? You want that, right? Full copy rewrite, which means we'll give you one version of the title, bullet points, A+ content, which you can or cannot, if you want, you can take that as an input. You can even throw it away. It doesn't matter. Like for us, we feel like we need to give you recommendations so that you can actually fix the problems, not just know about the problems. And that's something that you won't find in any audit. Like audits generally just tell you, here, there's a lot of problems here, right? But we actually give you a version of the recommendations. Now, obviously, you are the subject matter expert, so you might say, okay, this recommendation doesn't serve my needs. That's fine. You can change it. You take whatever you want from it, but we will give you a full copy rewrite. Image by image analysis. So what's working, what's not working, what's critical to fix, all of that will be mentioned. A+ content audit plus rebuild. So you'll be able to see where your A+ content is failing, along with how to rebuild it. We even give you the notes for if we were to build your A+ content from scratch, how would we do it? Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, all the way to Module 7, exactly what to put in each of those modules. And so that's, again, like a huge value add, which honestly, it's too good to be true. Then finally is the buyer alignment tracker, which basically says which Rufus question is being answered or not answered in all different different parts of your listing, and that whole game plan is mentioned at the end. So it's a pretty exhaustive, like I said, 35 to 50 pages long audit, which is people are really, really loving. So I'm going to give you some quotes from people that came. This was a VP of a major bamboo bedding brand. Uh, they said, this actually provides an immediate solution for me. How fast can you guys do it if we were to give you 50 listings? Like literally they went from one audit to 50 audits, like literally right away. And we're still, we've already delivered quite a bit and also finished a lot of their listings, and they're getting live as we speak. The testimonial here is, I'm very impressed by all the detail. This is super helpful. This was some award-winning light therapy brand that was very, very impressed by the audit that we did for them. Here's another one. I must congratulate you that you got the point. I hope this sells. So super excited. And this was a supplements founder who opened the call with, I have been fooled many, many times. And then they saw, then saw his product differentiation and nailed without any briefing. So we didn't know anything about the product except what was visible through Rufus. And we were able to give them exactly what their product needed. And they were super, super happy with that. So that's I think I want to just end by giving you an opportunity to claim this offer, right? So this is the email you will be emailing to if you're interested. So just know the criteria is that you need to have at least 10 ASINs, not you need to have 10 ASINs that you're advertising on Amazon or running on Amazon. And in that case, we will do the first one for free, right? And all you need to do is take this email, orange dash Rufus at ppcninja.com. You don't even need to write anything in the subject line. All we need is your email address. Like once your email comes in, then automatically you will get a reply, and then you can submit your ASIN along with which market, and just a few details. It'll just be like a little form that you fill out, and then we can take it from there, right? And someone will get on the call with you, give you your audit, and so on. So
I just wanted to
hopefully,
mention that this email is also in the video description, so you can easily copy and paste to your email program. It's an amazing offer. Thank you very much.
yeah. Thank you so much. So yeah, that was it. I hope that was helpful. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know this was a lot to absorb, but happy to answer any questions that might be there in the audience.
Yes, we have a lot of questions since the beginning.
Oh, good. Okay.
And
Okay.
once again, thanks for this very interesting presentation. My takeaway is that there are a lot of the images are your hacks. Like you can put stuff information for Rufus inside the images, which maybe don't fit into more nicely organized description. All right, so let's see. We have some questions from earlier. So it's an interesting question. I don't know if you know the answer. Are customers starting their search from the search bar or from Rufus, or do they use bar first and then Rufus?
Yeah. So, I have noticed that, thank you for that question, Jeff. So I've noticed that initially there's always a to switch because change is always hard for people, right? But once they've tasted it, they don't want to go back. Like I just don't use the search bar as much anymore. I prefer to go through Rufus because it gives me such rich responses. Now, Amazon has not said exactly how many people are starting their search with Rufus, but they are giving us numbers like 250 million plus have, used Rufus. They won't tell us whether they started or they just used as part of their journey. But one thing is clear, that Amazon is making it very easy for people to discover Rufus because they put those blue prompts everywhere. Like I'm seeing them in so many different places on the listing, and any one of them will lead to the Rufus chatbot, and it will just come up, and then you'll find yourself in a conversation with it. So I think Amazon is invested in making Rufus mainstream, but it's actually gained adoption, I don't think Amazon is going to switch away from the search bar just overnight, right? It'll take a little bit of time and data gathering on their part before that switch happens. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I am based in Europe and I haven't seen Rufus at all in, obviously it's only in US, right? Or maybe I think so, it's only in US.
It's actually there yeah, you need to just be
Oh, it's on
like
the app.
logged in. Yeah, you need to be logged in to
Uh,
your Amazon account. You should be able to see
I
Rufus in
am
the top
usually, I
left.
don't know, have never seen, I shop on Amazon very often, but mostly on the desktop. Maybe I don't
Interesting.
know, on Amazon Spain. All right, so Sean was saying, I don't understand where in the backend of the Amazon listing I optimize for Rufus. So there is no backend, it's just like you manipulate the information, right?
Yeah, so Sean, it's not just backend, it is your listing. Everything on your listing is is understood by Rufus. So you don't need to do anything special in the backend. You just need to make sure that every inch of your listing is fully optimized for Rufus. And what we mean by that is that it is answering all the questions that are showing up in the prompts and that there's nothing negative showing up. So if there's anything negative, you want to quickly address that by providing, like I said, like a counter to that, like switching the narrative so that you're answering it in a way that Rufus can pick up your answer and start to show that to customers. Right. So that's basically, there's no backend or anything. It's the whole thing along with the actual backend, like the search terms and so on.
And can you ask LLM to summarize Rufus Q&A for your product? I'm not sure about the question. Do you understand?
Can you ask an LLM to summarize Rufus Q&A for your product? Yes, absolutely. So what you're saying is that you extract Rufus Q&A, right? And then you take that document and then you pass it through an LLM and then ask the LLM to analyze it. Yes, absolutely. Those are the exact pieces that we also do. It's just that our process is more automated, it's more streamlined, and we won't miss anything. Whereas if you want to do it yourself, absolutely, that's the right way of going about it.
All right. What happens when there is a discrepancy attributes between A9 and Rufus?
So if you have an example, that'll be great, because the thing is that Rufus is, like I said, more fair. A9, basically, you can it a little bit, like you can game what keywords. Like I know that there used to be people who used to do experiments where they could sell products where the main keyword was not even the product, right? And that kind of gaming happened for a long time, just by putting money behind certain keywords or just by getting people to leave reviews and so on. It could be gamed in the past, but Rufus, no, I don't think so.
This is about reviews. If a competitor review bomb my listing, how can we counter that with Rufus? Amazon does nothing against attackers. And then Rufus takes a lot of information from reviews, so it's a bit like tricky station.
Absolutely. No, you're right. If that's happening in a widespread way, like it's quite unfortunate that that would happen. But the thing is that, remember I said that would Rufus take one negative review and, make it look bad? It's basically about the quantity, the ratio. Like if you have or more number of people saying positive things, then it kind of balances out. So even though there's review bombing happening and there's nothing you can do about it, it's like unfortunate that people have, there's so many bad actors out there. But I think Rufus does understand the positives as well. So I think focus on what you can do versus trying to fix what you can't do. Like I don't think that part can be prevented, because Amazon is like an open space where people do whatever they want, and that's just unfortunate. But if you can focus on making sure that your listing is really stellar, making sure that the product is really stellar and that people have a good experience with it, then they will leave positive reviews and that will balance it out.
All right. Does Rufus look at the Seller Central edit listing attributes such as special features, recommended uses for product?
Everything, everything, front, back, everything. Yeah.
All right. How much way does Rufus give for A+ content?
So at the moment, what we've seen is that A plus content is not being picked up by Rufus, but there's no clarity on that part. But the title, bullet points, and the product description is. Content, I believe it will be eventually. Like, why won't it, right? It doesn't make sense for Rufus to just be scraping the title and bullet points. So I would say if we haven't reached that stage, that's your advantage because now you can get ahead of the race and go ahead and do it anyway, right? So it's best that you optimize your entire listing because people leave reviews based on their holistic experience with your brand, not just the title and the bullet points. So I would say go ahead and do your best on the A plus as well.
All right. Question about images. Do main image need to be somehow Rufus optimized or just listing images? And does PPC Ninja offer enhancing main image service?
Yeah, absolutely. The main image, we do recommend, touching up your main image so that it has some call outs, even though even if your packaging does not have such certain words, we still do recommend it. It's kind of a little bit of a gray thing because I don't think Amazon wants you to, mess with your main image. Like they'll want everything on a white background, which is correct. That's how we do it as well. But a lot of people have seen improvements in click-through rates by a huge amount if they improve the main image by placing a packaging where there's words on the packaging itself that clarify what the product does or is. And so yes, PPC Ninja also does enhance main images. So definitely contact us if you need help there.
And the best way to contact for this kind of service through the website, PPC Ninja? Or?
Yeah, you can actually use the same exact email that was sent to you earlier. So orange dash anything, anybody from this group, if you want to send us any questions or whatever, just send it to orange-rufus@ppcninja.com.
Yeah, I'm showing this right now.
Yes.
And just use this email and you will get answers. Another question you mentioned in the presentation, like, okay, check every month if Rufus is recommending your product. How to check if Rufus is bringing customized experience for each buyer depending on their purchase history and questions in the past?
Yeah,
So
great question. Yeah, exactly. So, which is why I was saying that it is extremely hard to measure the success of your Rufus work because there's infinite number of questions, there's infinite number of people with their backgrounds, and so what they see could be quite different. But at this moment, I would say that we're in the early stages, and Rufus is showing pretty standardized questions. Their prompts are very standardized. Honestly, if you look at them, they're very simple. So it's totally worth recording them at this point and baselining them away so that when you look at them a few months from now, after you've optimized, you will be able to see what did Rufus say then and what is it saying now. So start and definitely keep track of it.
And is it possible to see in some Seller Central reports which sales came from Rufus?
So only the prompts where your ads showed up, yes, you can see.
Ads
So,
show up,
yeah.
but where Rufus
Yeah.
is recommending naturally? So it is
No,
the
no.
ad, or no, it doesn't.
Yeah, only through the ads. Yeah, it's basically the report name is prompts. It's called prompts. It's under sponsored products report, and you can download that and see how much you spent, how much sales you got, etc. All the performance data is there.
And on your last slides, you showed that Rufus is asking questions about the product. Where do you get these questions? Is Rufus asking in the Seller Central?
So it actually asks you right on the. I can actually share my screen if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me just click on anything. It doesn't matter. Like, let's say if I go into Instant Pot or something. So you'll see this screen right on the left side. It says Rufus AI, right? So this says, is the inner pot dishwash safe? What's included with this? Does it work well for meal prep? How long? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so all these questions are there. Now, if you click on the first one, let's say, it's going to give an answer, but after that, it's also going to give you 5 more questions. So you can click on that, and then it gives you more, and it gives you more. So it's like more and more and more and more questions. This is exactly what I was saying earlier, that we have automation that mines all these questions and saves them in this format. So you get hundreds of questions that you can gather from Rufus. Additionally, these are some of the other little blue prompts that show up. If you click on any one of these, you will notice that it automatically opens up Rufus, this section, and it answers over here, right? This is the area where it answers. Another place where Rufus shows up, I'll tell you, is you scroll down here, looking for specific information right over your product description. So here again, there's more questions. Meal prep, how long are the cooking times? What's included with this? Then there's one more section further down. I think it is near the reviews. Actually, that was it. So that section, this one, this is it. No, actually, there's one more section. Anyway, they sprinkle these everywhere. Like I've also seen them in checkout pages and so on. So they sprinkle them throughout and making it easy for people to discover or answer questions and resolve doubts that might be propping up in their minds. So it's quite split. It's not just one place that Rufus lives in. It lives in many, many places.
All right. Thank you very much, Ritu. Once again, we can show what is that email address. So write this email if you want to get free Rufus audit of 35 pages for your SKU, for your product. And the requirement is that you have to sell at least 10 products on your brand or on your Amazon account. And yeah, it's so your company's name is PPC Ninja, so people associate with PPC services, but now you said you can help with images. So maybe give more context. What else do you do? And
yeah, absolutely.
And when you will rebrand your name?
We won't rebrand, at least not for now. So we do advertising, right? And advertising includes all of this. It's a flywheel, right? Our ads work better when the listing is optimized. And we started as an ad company. We still are an advertising agency. But with the help of AI, we have expanded into listing creation, listing optimization, Rufus enablement, and AI readiness. So all of this actually feeds the whole growth engine that makes advertising actually work better. So we're still an advertising agency, but we're also a listing creation and services agency. So it's both 2 in 1. We're not rebranding just yet. We've got too much brand equity, and I like it. So we're gonna keep it. I think people who change their names lose quite a bit, right? So yeah, I just want to keep it for as long as I can.
All right. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Again. And
absolutely.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time. Thank you so much. Bye, Gustus. Take care.
Ciao. And now I would like to invite you to watch another video where you will learn how you can use Claude to automate some of your Amazon business processes. So check this out.